Pierre Hermé, and Dory Greenspan. She's humiliated.
Embarrassed. Flattered.
But you're so good at it.
Thank you, sweetie.
Okay, thank you for being so many people here, and welcome. Dory Greenspan, she's my co-author, and she will try to translate, because my English is okay, but some of the words, some of the feelings, it's very difficult for me to explain in English. And on my other side is André. André is working with me on all the creations, and he's my assistant, and we work very close together. And here we make the demonstration, and I will speak. One is working, the other one is speaking. Okay. What you see on the screen now is it's my slogan. It's my guide in everything what I make.
Would you like me to translate that? Ça, c'est le slogan.
And come on. Et aujourd'hui, donc, je vais parler de l'architecture du goût.
Today I'm going to speak about the architecture of taste.
Parce que dans tout ce que je fais, la seule chose qui me guide, c'est le goût et les sensations.
Because in everything that I do, the one thing that guides me is taste and sensation.
C'est pas la technique.
It's not technique.
C'est pas mon ego.
It's not his ego.
C'est uniquement de donner du plaisir, parce que ce que l'on fait, c'est à manger avant tout.
Okay, it's just to give pleasure, because what we eat should give us pleasure.
Alors, à travers ce travail, il y a plusieurs choses que je veux expliquer, et c'est ce que j'ai appelé le thème de la conférence aujourd'hui, c'est l'architecture du goût.
Okay, so he's going to talk about the work that he's done, and the term that he gives it is architecture of taste.
Parce que pour moi, c'est ce qui procède à tout plat, que ce soit salé ou sucré.
And that's for all things that he does, whether it's savory or sweet.
Et je vais essayer d'illustrer cette architecture du goût à travers un goût, parmi tous les goûts que j'ai pu utiliser et créer.
Okay, oh dear, if I had a better memory. Okay, he's going to talk about this in terms of one taste.
Yeah. À travers one example, because to make you understand the way I work, but I did the same work on different tastes.
Thank you.
When I started to work on a new things, I always start in my mind, not by making a lot of tries. Je commence toujours par assembler les goûts et les sensations dans ma tête.
The taste and the feeling, it's all in his head to start.
Et par exemple, dans le goût dont on va parler aujourd'hui, qui est Ispahan.
For example, in the taste that we're going to talk about today, he's going to talk about, which is Ispahan.
Ispahan, c'est rose, lychee, framboise.
It's rose, it's lychee, and it's raspberries.
Et c'est une construction qui s'est faite au fil des années.
And it's a construction that has grown and evolved over the course of years.
Et que j'ai interprété de plein de façons. Vous allez voir, moi, j'ai interprété de 18 façons, mais je pense qu'on peut l'interpréter encore davantage.
Okay, it's these three flavors that he has interpreted in different forms, always using the same flavors, and he now has 18 or 19 of them, and he's not finished.
Pour illustrer la diversité du goût Ispahan, André va réaliser à côté de moi la tarte Ispahan.
Okay, so to show you the diversity of these flavors, Andre is going to be doing the tarte Ispahan.
La tarte Ispahan est composée d'une pâte sablée,
Pâte sablée.
d'une crème d'amande à la rose,
It's an almond cream that's flavored with rose.
d'une gelée au gélane au litchi,
There's a lychee jelly made with gélane,
de framboises fraîches
fresh raspberries,
et d'un disque de macarons croustillant.
and then there's a crispy macaron that's rose also, yes?
Donc la première des choses qu'André va faire, c'est la gelée, si vous pouvez l'expliquer en anglais.
Okay, so hello for everybody. So I'm doing the demonstration. I will show you how we do the lychee jelly. So in the champagne you see lychee pulp. I put in a little bit of sugar, just small, a little bit of lemon juice, okay?
Are you going to take the rest of it?
I put inside the gelane, it's a gelifican from Ferran Adrià. It's something very new and something very special because it works very good and it isn't like elastic like gelatin. So on taste it's very, very interesting.
Recipe is 500 grams of lychee puree, 20 grams of lemon juice, 50 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of gelane, and 1 gram of rose essence.
Okay, so in the recipe we write down that the gelane we have to put it in 45 degrees. That's
Celsius.
You can put it also when everything is cool, but the best is to put it in 45 degrees and you just heat it at 85. At 85 you stop. Why? Because you will have something always regular. Today I don't have the material just to do it, so we bring it just to boil, and that's no problem because it works the same. It maybe will be a little bit harder because you have lesser water, but the taste will be the same. So we bring it to a boil. The rose essence, we put it always on last because when you boil it with, it's an essence with alcohol, so when it's too hot, the alcohol goes away and you don't find the taste, okay?
So that's an example of an interpretation of the taste rose, lychee, and raspberry Ispahan. We go back to the slideshow. And les choses qui pour moi sont importantes, c'est aller à l'essentiel. Ça veut dire, quand on dit aller à l'essentiel, c'est ne pas ajouter de choses superflues.
Okay. So he's saying that what's really important is to concentrate on the essentials. And for him, that's not to add anything that's superfluous.
Dans les associations du goût, il y a beaucoup de gens qui disent qu'on mélange pas plus de 3 saveurs, parce qu'après ça marche pas.
Okay, there are many people who say that when you're talking about combining flavors, if you have more than 3 flavors, it's just not going to work.
Pour moi, c'est pas du tout je suis contre cette croyance
That's not what
qui
he
est souvent
believes.
qui est répandue. Pour moi, c'est pas une question de nombre de saveurs, c'est une question de l'association de saveurs et de dosage.
Okay, so for him, it's not a question of how many ingredients there are in something. It's the way they associate with one another. It's the marriage of the ingredients and how much of each that you use, the dosage.
Et dans tout ce que je fais, j'essaye toujours de donner un certain sens.
In everything that I do, I try to give a sense of the construction of the flavor.
Et alors bien sûr, ce sens, il m'est propre.
It's his own sense.
Mais il y a un fil conducteur et j'ai toujours une volonté de donner des sensations à un moment donné et de structurer le goût.
Okay, so it's the way he feels about the flavors for sure, but he's always thinking about how to structure the flavors. I'll let you, I was going to say why, but you say why.
Alors, ensuite, donc, on va voir différentes variantes de l'Ispahan. Et
Okay, what you saw for just 2 seconds were some of the 18.
déclinaisons.
Okay, some of the variations on the Ispahan, on those 3 flavors of rose, lychee, and raspberry.
Quand je commence à travailler, je travaille donc, j'ai expliqué tout à l'heure, toujours dans ma tête.
He starts working in his head.
Et après, je fais des dessins et j'écris les recettes.
So, and then he does these designs, and then he writes the recipe.
Et à ce moment-là, je sais toujours ce que je veux exprimer. Ça veut dire les nuances, les textures, tous les effets que je veux donner dans le produit.
Okay, and at that point, he wants to, he's thinking about what the effects that he wants to give, the taste that he wants, and that all comes in this process.
En fait, ce que vous voyez là, ce sont des exemples de choses que je donne, le travail que je donne à André pour qu'il fasse les essais, pour qu'il réalise les essais.
Okay, these are examples of what he would give to André to start testing the different creations.
Alors il n'y a pas les procédés et tout ça parce que les procédés il les connaît.
There aren't exact instructions because André knows how to do that. So it's really.
Les dessins c'est pas pour le look très souvent parce qu'à ce stade-là je m'occupe pas encore de l'aspect. Pour moi, ça n'a pas d'importance.
Okay, and the design isn't really for the look because at this stage the look isn't so important.
It's more for the proportion. Hein, c'est pour les proportions. Et dans cette création, je m'appuie sur différents concepts que j'ai créés au fil des années, dont je vais passer quelques-uns de ces concepts.
Okay, so there are different concepts that have come across. There are different concepts that he's used over the years, and we're going to see some of those now.
Ça, c'est un gâteau dont la construction est basée sur les nuances de croquant et de croustillant.
So it's crispy and crunchy. There's a balance there.
J'ai beaucoup utilisé le sel parce que le chocolat blanc il y a de la fleur de sel dedans. Pour 1 kilo, il y a 18 grammes de fleur de sel.
Okay, in a kilo of white chocolate, there's 18 grams of fleur de sel, and he's saying that he really likes salt in desserts. And in fact, I think in the interview you said it was the most important ingredient for you, your favorite. So that's white chocolate that has been salted. Underneath is. Do you want to just say what the layers are?
It's puff pastry. It's fruit, dried fruit, different
fruits and nuts.
With a jelly with orange and balsamic vinegar, and rice pudding with mascarpone and mascarpone cream. But it's the most important in this dessert is the taste, but mostly the texture.
The texture is
very
really
surprising and very stimulating.
But it's also I've eaten this, so it's from the top down. You're always getting a different texture, and you're always getting a little crunch with the smoothness.
Ensuite, l'autre concept qui est un petit gâteau qui s'appelle Envie. It's a pâte sablé breton with 3 cubes.
Okay, so this is something Pierre's done with various flavors, the Pierre Hermé, and this is Envie. So it starts with a puff pastry base, and there are always 3 cubes.
It's a concept based on crispy, crunchy, and
soft.
And soft. Because inside it's crème brûlée à la violette avec compote de cassis.
Okay, so it's violet crème brûlée.
C'est très mou. On franchit à quelque chose de très mou, puis après d'un coup ça devient très croustillant.
So it's violet crème brûlée and cassis, and it's very soft, and then you get the crunchy pâte feuilletée underneath.
Là aussi, c'est un gâteau qui existe depuis longtemps, que j'ai créé il y a une quinzaine d'années.
He's done this. This is the original was 15 years old. Plaisir sucré.
Mais là aussi, tout est sur les nuances de texture et de sensation, sur un goût très simple, chocolat au lait et noisette.
Okay, so this is milk chocolate and hazelnut, and again, it's the play of texture against flavors that are the flavors you know well.
Ça, ce sont les émotions, et là, il y a pas mal de variantes.
Okay, he's done émotions are his desserts in glass, and he's done lots of variations.
Ça me permet de faire en boutique quelque chose qui se rapproche du dessert de restaurant.
Okay, so it allows him in the shop to have a dessert that would be the kind of dessert you would expect to get in a restaurant, not in a pastry shop.
Là, c'est pH3, c'est aussi un gâteau qui se mange en 3 parfums différents.
Okay, so this is pH3, Pierre Hermé, 3 pieces, also acidity, right? And he's done this in various variations, but each one has a different flavor, going from least acidic to medium to bing.
With different
That's
tastes.
his technical word.
André est en train de couler donc la gelée au gélane.
Explain what you're doing here.
So I'm
What?
putting inside, I've boiled it before. I add the rose essence and I wait a little bit because the gelane works on free water in the product. So in this recipe you will find very less of gelane. okay? Because you have a lot of water, a lot of sugar, so gelatin works very, very good on lychee. All the other things, when you take like strawberry or raspberry, you have to put a little bit more gelatin inside, okay? But after, it works also quicker. So for the lychee, you have always to wait a little bit.
Is that because there's more acidity in the
Exactly.
raspberries? Okay,
Exactly.
and less in the lychee.
It works.
Okay.
The acidity is a problem for
For the gelatin actually coming together.
Back to the slideshow. Another concept is surprise. C'est la surprise, c'est un gâteau qui est enveloppé comme un bonbon.
So the cellophane that you see behind it actually wraps it. It looks like a little round firecracker or a candy. And again, it's something that Pierre has used in different flavor combinations, always with the same name, surprise, but using like mosaïque or Ispahan. So
Là, c'est mosaïque, c'est un autre goût qui est pistache griotte.
pistachio griotte, sour cherry.
Avec toujours le concept, c'est d'avoir une coque de meringue croustillante, donc très sucrée.
Okay, so the concept is always the same in terms of the meringue topping. There's a little crust of meringue that's always very crunchy.
Une crème sucrée normalement, et une compote ou un coulis ou des fruits très acides avec quasiment pas de sucre.
Okay, so you get a very, very sweet meringue, then you get a cream that's just normally sweet, and then you get something in the center that is not sweet at all, that has the acidity, and so it's really that balance. That's what surprise looks like.
That's another dessert in a glass with pear compote, pear gelée, compote with
Cranberry? Cranberries.
and pears, and crème de mascarpone with sirop d'érable.
Oh, maple syrup. So you have pear compote, cranberry, almost cranberry sauce, then you have the cream, a mascarpone cream, and with maple syrup. A little American.
That's one of the cake I created 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, and that's classic. Now we are going to Ispahan, all the different type of Ispahan and the story of this taste. That's the first shape of Ispahan. C'est la première.
I was going to do it in French. It's the first shape of Ispahan.
Et Ispahan est le fruit pour moi d'une évolution dans le goût et dans la construction du goût.
Okay, so it's been all of these years, and you'll see how many, that he's been thinking about this, and the flavors have been evolving in the forms.
J'ai découvert l'utilisation de la rose par des Bulgares en 1984.
Okay, so it was 1987 that he did his first rose and raspberry. It was a cake, yes? Paradis.
Non, j'ai découvert l'utilisation par des Bulgares.
Okay, Bulgaria.
Les Bulgares, des gens de Bulgarie, du pays.
Okay, so in Bulgaria is where he first saw the use of rose.
Et en 87, j'ai créé un premier gâteau
There was a cake.
qui s'appelait le Paradis, qui était un gâteau avec une bavaroise à la rose, un biscuit et des framboises fraîches.
Okay, so that was in Fauchon in 1987. It was the raspberry and the rose cake, no lychee.
10 ans après, je trouvais que le concept de ce gâteau était dépassé. Et entre-temps, je m'étais aperçu que le litchi était très proche de la rose. Donc, j'ai eu envie d'ajouter le litchi. Et c'est là que j'ai fait l'Ispahan, qui est macaron, crème à la rose, crème au beurre à la rose, litchi et framboise.
Okay, so 10 years later, he had this idea about lychee being very similar to rose, and he made the Ispahan, which is rose macaroon, rose buttercream, fresh lychee, fresh raspberry, another rose macaroon, and a rose petal.
Et donc, ça a été pour moi le démarrage de plein d'idées, de déclinaisons de ce goût rose, litchi, framboise.
So this was really the next step in this association of the three flavors.
En fait, les saveurs de rose, litchi, framboise se complètent, se superposent, et il n'y a pas une de ces saveurs qui domine.
So when you have these three flavors together, one complements the other. There isn't one that really dominates the other, but they're very, very complementary.
Donc là, c'est le gâteau, l'Ispahan.
That's the Ispahan cake.
J'en ai fait un petit four.
He did it as a petit four.
la tarte que vous allez voir, et peut-être après on va pouvoir les goûter d'ailleurs. Il faudra venir par ici, je sais pas, on va pouvoir,
So this is the tart that you're going to see, and Pierre said maybe if there's some way we can all taste, if you come up afterwards, you'll get a taste of it.
En fait, l'idée de ces morceaux de gelée, c'est vraiment d'avoir un concentré de goût de litchi.
Okay, so the reason that the lychee gelée is there is so that you get a really concentrated taste of the lychee.
Ça, c'est une autre forme.
That was for Valentine's Day.
Alors cet exercice à partir d'une association de saveurs, de développer un certain nombre de produits, je l'ai fait sur plein d'autres produits, ce que j'ai appelé les produits fétiches de la maison Hermé.
Okay. So this idea of taking one flavor combination and making it in several forms and really just reshaping it is the way Pierre has worked. He's done it with lots of other combinations, and he's done it with the combinations that he refers to as his fetishes. And here's another Ispahan.
Ça, c'est l'émotion Ispahan, gelée de litchi avec des framboises fraîches dedans,
Okay, lychee jelly with fresh
compote de framboises
raspberry.
et crème de mascarpone à la rose.
Okay, so you have the raspberry compote, and then you have mascarpone with rose flavor, and a macaron on top.
Ça, c'est un dessert d'été. C'est une gelée de framboise avec une gelée de litchi à la rose et des morceaux de litchi.
Okay, so you have the raspberry gelée, a rose gelée with lychee, and then the macaron. It's a tea dessert.
Là, c'est un concept
I love this.
un peu particulier qui permet de manger le gâteau dans la rue. C'est pas une glace.
This isn't ice cream, this is cake on a stick, and it's Pierre's kind of snack food, so that you can buy this and eat this on the street. Kind of the classiest.
C'est une coque de chocolat blanc avec un biscuit à la rose et framboise et une gelée de framboise.
Okay, so it's, did you say white chocolate? Yeah, no,
Oui.
yeah, it's white chocolate on the outside, and then it's
Un biscuit à la rose,
a rose
framboise,
biscuit, and then raspberry in the center.
avec gelée de framboise.
What?
How many people have been to Pierre's shop in Paris? Good.
Okay.
If you're, the rest of you, go.
Okay. I love it. It's called Mr. H. And it's called Mr. H en français also, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's Mr. H.
Et il y a aussi donc une crème au litchi à la rose dans ce.
Okay, and there's also a lychee rose cream in the center.
Là, c'est surprise Ispahan avec la meringue toujours autour,
Always the meringue.
une crème à la rose et
A rose
compote de
cream.
framboise avec morceaux de litchi.
Okay, rose cream and then the raspberry compote with some pieces of lychee in the center.
Ensuite, c'est un autre. Là, c'est Miss Glagla.
Gla gla
c'est une
means
glace.
brr. It's ice cream.
Sorbet litchi à la rose et enfin il en existe deux sortes. Il y a glace à la rose qui est sur cette photo et sorbet framboise avec compote de litchi et il en existe une autre.
Okay, wait. So the form is always the same, and it's the sandwich of it is the macaron. It's a rose macaron. This one is rose sorbet with
Rose ice cream.
rose ice cream with raspberry sorbet
and litchi compote.
and lychee. Okay, so
And I do the same with the same shape with raspberry sorbet, rose and lychee sorbet.
thank you.
That's in Tokyo. We have a salon de thé. We made also coupe glacée, coupe Ispahan, and ça c'est la galette traditionnelle française.
The galette des rois, the
Galette des
king's
rois,
cake.
avec crème d'amande à la rose, framboise fraîche et litchi.
It's so good.
Pâte feuilletée.
So it's pâte feuilletée, it's puff pastry, and then it's an almond rose cream, and it has fresh raspberries and lychees inside of it.
Bon, ça c'est la bûche avec la déclinaison du gâteau aussi.
Okay, so this is the Yule, bûche Noël, Yule log.
Ça c'est la pâte de fruits.
So same flavors, but is gelée.
Toutes les pâtes de
Pâte
fruits
de-
que je fais, c'est toujours des pâtes de fruits bicouches.
Okay, so the only pâte de fruits that Pierre makes always has two layers. It's never just a solid one flavor.
Donc pâte de fruits litchi à la rose et pâte de fruits framboise.
So there's one that's raspberry and one that's lychee rose.
La confiture, là aussi, c'est la confiture, il y a 2 couches. Et quand les gens achètent la confiture, on leur demande de mélanger. On leur dit qu'il faut mélanger avant de commencer.
Okay, so this is jam that has 2 layers as well, and when people buy it, they're told they have to scoop in and get both layers.
Avec confiture de lychee à la rose et confiture de framboise.
So lychee rose and raspberry.
Donc tout ce travail, c'est un moyen de revisiter en permanence les goûts que j'ai créés par le passé.
Okay, so working like this is a way to keep revisiting the flavors that he's worked with in the past.
Ça, c'est donc le cake. C'est un cake aussi, une déclinaison de cake avec biscuit à la rose et éclat de framboise et gelée de framboise.
Okay, so this is a rose cake with the other flavors in it. I haven't tasted this one yet.
But this one was 2003. This one is 2006.
Right.
So how many variations of Ispahan have there been?
I think you will discover more. 18 or 19 variation, and always you find the same construction, the same combination with different sensations.
So that they each as he changes the form, they really do taste different. And he's really done this with other combinations. Yeah.
Ispahan, cette année, on a décidé donc de mettre en avant justement les saveurs fétiches de la maison Hermé, dont Ispahan. C'est pour ça qu'il y a fétiche Ispahan.
Okay, so at Pierre Hermé Paris, they've decided to show off Pierre's fetish flavors, and so Ispahan is one of the fetishes.
Millefeuille Ispahan, 2 couches de pâte feuilletée, crème de mascarpone à la rose,
So it's a mascarpone
avec
rose
compote de
cream
framboise et litchi.
and lychee framboise compote.
Plates.
Oh, this is a
Et
good sign.
la tarte, on en a parlé, un macaron
Ouais.
avec crème de litchi à la rose et gelée de framboise au gélane, la même technique que ce que André a utilisé tout à l'heure.
So different from the original one that had rose
That
buttercream.
is small one, it's small piece. Huh?
Okay, it's very small, and it uses the lychee rose cream is made from the gélane.
No, the
raspberry is made from
gelée.
gélane.
It's a just cube of raspberry gelée in the middle of the small macaron. And
I haven't had that either.
The new one will be in the shop next month. It's the chocolate Ispahan. Chocolat Ispahan avec ganache framboise, chocolat framboise et pâte de fruits litchi rose.
Okay, so you have the lychee rose pâte feuille, and you have the chocolate raspberry ganache and the dark chocolate coating.
Voilà. Donc ça c'est vraiment un travail de construction du goût auquel je me livre en permanence. Et
Okay, so this is really his work, the construction of flavor, and it's what he does all the time.
Et là, par exemple, je travaille sur les goûts de l'année prochaine. Donc là, il y a des nouveautés, des nouvelles associations de goûts.
He's working on next year's new flavor combinations.
Et certainement, je vais les décliner aussi au fil des années, comme je l'ai fait avec Ispahan, comme je l'ai fait avec Celeste, Plénitude, Satine, tous les goûts de la maison.
Okay, and when he has these new combinations, he's sure that he's going to be working like this, making new combinations of these same flavors, the way he did with Ispahan, with Satine, which you saw, Ivoire, Celeste. You have to go see them and taste them.
Okay, I hope. Ah, voilà. Donc. Question.
Hello? Okay, who's got a question for Pierre?
No question.
Johnny?
No question?
Because you're like right in my eyesight. Okay, we got one back here. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
My name's Elizabeth Faulkner. I'm from San Francisco. And hi, Pierre.
Hi.
And Dory. I love you guys.
Hi, Elizabeth.
I have a question for you about, I know you have your fetishes, and I love your new branding for it. But what other flavors are you captivated by today?
Pardon?
Quels d'autres goûts sont tes fétiches?
I am working on something like with maize, corn, peas, and peas and mint. Because for me, peas is sweet, and for next year, I work on this type of flavor. I work on other flavors, but I'm not. Comment, je suis pas encore tout à fait prêt.
He's not really ready to talk about next year, but it's going to be peas, corn, and mint. But also talk about like the flavors in Satine, because or in Celeste.
Celeste is combination of rhubarb, fraise, and passion fruit.
So passion fruit, strawberries, and rhubarb. That's Celeste.
And I made the same exercise than with
With Ispahan. So
with Ispahan,
right.
or with another taste with Satine. Satine is cream cheese, orange, and passion fruit.
So passion fruit, cream cheese, orange, Satine, and that also gets played the way.
Parce que je voulais, au départ, avec ce gâteau, j'ai voulu faire une espèce de cheesecake revisité.
Okay, so
et en fait, j'en ai fait une déclinaison comme j'ai fait pour l'Ispahan, de la même façon.
It started that he wanted to make a cheesecake. That's where the cream cheese came from, and it's turned out to have the kinds of variations that Ispahan has.
Alors, j'ai pas fait la confiture parce que la confiture, ça marche pas. Je fais pas systématiquement la déclinaison. C'est j'ai fait la glace, j'ai fait la tarte, j'ai fait l'émotion.
Okay.
J'ai fait la pâte de fruits, mais sans mettre le cream cheese.
Okay, so it's not a case of when he has these flavor combinations, he doesn't do the same series of things. It's not always pâte fruit or jam, because some things lend themselves to that kind of variety and others don't. So he hasn't made a jam with cream cheese, nor he's made a pâte fruit, but it doesn't have the cream cheese. So it's not a question of you go like this and you create the series.
Et en ce moment, par exemple, j'ai très envie de travailler des poivres. Et donc, je réfléchis à beaucoup de choses à partir du goût du poivre. Pas de la force du poivre, mais du goût du poivre.
Okay. And right now he's really interested in trying to do something with pepper. Not necessarily the heat, the force of pepper, but the flavor of it. And so that's what he's playing with.
Here
We have
so
to move down here.
Let's move down to this side. More questions.
Okay, I think we have time for another question.
We have plenty of time for questions. No, but we also have plenty of time. Pierre's serving, so without creating a stampede, we do have some Ispahan here. So if anybody we can ask a question. Why don't we do a question first?
Okay, I have a quick question.
Doesn't have to be quick.
All right, then I'll take a long time. My name's Louisa, and I'm in Paris and Chicago. And I know last year, well, I mean the last few years, for example, last year was Desires, and then this year was the Fetish, and it was a revisitation of a lot of the classic flavors. Is next year going to be a new collection the way Desires in the past few years has been, or again a revisitation of Fetish
Next year will be
flavors?
very different. I stopped the collection this year to make collection because everybody is making collection now, and I tried to find another rhythm, and but next year will be very different, with very new flavor, new combination of flavor, and new concept of product.
Antoinette, why don't you go back on question duty? We have students now.
I'm holding
Okay,
my-
who has a question? Come on, you gotta have one. This is your area of expertise. Come on.
Okay.
I see all these pastry people here, and I don't see
I
any
know.
good questions. What's going on here?
There's forks too.
Tell us your name and where you're from.
Hi, Karen Schley from Manhattan. I just wanted to ask, how does he decipher in his own mind the difference between crispy and crunchy when he's thinking about these?
Qu'est-ce que c'est la
these
différence
items?
entre croquante et croustillante?
It's not the same feeling because crispy is more. Comment le crispy ça appelle comment ça fait un peu. It's more flakiness.
Flaky, I don't know that word.
And crunchy, it's
Flakiness.
more harder.
Okay, crispy is flaky and crunchy is firmer, harder.
Yeah. For me, that's the difference.
It's interesting. I think here we often use the words the same way.
Yeah.
Crispy and crunchy. We say both words, but I think we
Crispy is
mean.
lighter, crunchy is more harder.
That's a good question.
What does your apartment look like?
You ate my piece of tart.
I did eat. Ooh, I'm sorry. I ate her tart. There must be another piece for you.
Yeah, I'm not
What is
worried.
your apartment like?
Oh, It's more modern.
What would you imagine his
Modern.
apartment would be like?
Fancy.
It's modern. The furniture start from the 50s to now.
That's what I want to know. No, there you
This is
piece
my,
now.
yeah, I know, and I'm not giving it to you.
I'm sorry. Other questions? See, Pierre,
I
you
think
created-
we're out of time for questions. I'm being told we're moving on.
We need
Okay.
to. We need to get Pierre. We need to get, ladies and gentlemen, Pierre Hermé
Thank you.
and Dory Greenspan.